Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, it's been a few days, and I hope you guys don't mind. We'll still have a little bit of a lax upload schedule or take a few days off because I am on a little bit of a break, but everything should be coming back very soon and shortly, and I cannot wait to make a few more videos. It's actually really nice to have a mental reset, so I kind of know where I want to go in the direction of my content and what videos I want to make. So thank you guys all so much for your patience. As well, guys, don't forget we still have a few more days on the Switch 2 giveaway that's been going on a little bit longer as I've been on this little break. And we also had a chance to go and get our Switch 2 as well to go give out. So make sure you guys are on top of that one. Make sure you guys get your last minute entries on that one. That'll be sorted sometime soon. Thank you guys for your patience. As well, subscribe if you guys are new. Leave a like and your thoughts and comments on this one because we have an intriguing video to go cover. Now, some of you guys may remember from back in the day, maybe about 2 years ago or so, there was a really big issue on the horizontal or vertical PlayStation. If it was bad to ever have your console standing upright, and the big component of all of this was the internals on the console. There was a lot of liquid metal issues, and the concept is due to the high heats, like you're running your console, it's, playing games, you're playing for 7-8 hours, doing a binge, I don't know, 18 hours of some random GTA or something, I don't know what you do. But basically, due to the heat, poor ventilation, it's not really poor, but you know what I mean, just running anything for a long time will add some wear and tear to it, would actually have caused the liquid metal to start melting. And then there was a lot of concerns over this all. That, well, these consoles themselves, well, in theory, could just start leaking literal metal everywhere and then kind of ruining the APU, which is the general processor for the console. And no one wants to have liquid metal floating around on your motherboards, your GPUs, and everything with it. So that was a big controversy, and that you should probably keep your console, more on the horizontal side, because even if it gets hot, the the metal kind of sits. And if you're ever doing stuff elongated, then in theory, if it gets kind of starts dripping around, it can start, it's just, you can see the logic, like it drips down or can go around versus just like staying still like this. I think you guys get it. But so that was a big drama. No one really kind of had the final call, although some people were saying if you just want to be careful, stay horizontal. But now we're seeing this is actually becoming a bigger widespread issue. PlayStation 5 liquid metal issues could cause many consoles to die in a couple of years, as more users are reporting problems over time. And this is kind of what we kind of try to go cover a few, at this point, years ago. And it's always been a lingering issue. Like 2 years ago, is PS5 metal liquid leaking a real issue? Normal vertical position. And well, this is where people are I even said this years ago. Better safe than sorry. I've kept my console still on the vertical end, but people are like, we just trust the engineers at Sony over some rumors on the internet. Why is this all coming up again? Here's the explanations, all this type of stuff. I can't understand why people keep asking this. This is BS. Reports that actually had this happening were confirmed to be for consoles that were opened by amateur technicians and likely not put back together. People are trying to give some excuses on this too as well. But at the same time, I've had this actually happen to me too on top of that. Some people are blaming it though on repair shops. Some people are blaming it on transportation issues. It's one of those kind of misspoken issues. But we're seeing it pop up even more and more and more now. So it's adding a little bit more validity towards the comment. Now, once again, take everything with a grain of salt. I still have a base PS5 as well, running perfectly fine, and a lot, if not millions of people, their consoles are okay. This shouldn't be groundbreaking, but we're noticing the issues are popping up more. The numbers are popping up more. It's a little bit more of a potential issue. And I would always want to say take things with a grain of salt, but this is the salt. The salt's getting a little bit bigger, so that's why we're reporting on it. So the previously reported PlayStation 5 liquid metal issues are becoming increasingly more widespread. And many units, especially launch units that are out of warranty, could now be dying in the next couple of years. Speaking of the latest episode of More Law is Dead, Broken Silicon podcast, Alderaan Games founder Matthew Chesels highlighted how the system's critical flaw is causing the liquid metal used for cooling to drip down the bottom of the console when placed vertically. So once again, this is coming back, causing dry spots on the APU that compromise its functionality and forces a shutdown under certain conditions, and is now getting more widespread. This is a big deal. A while back, the developer received reports that the latest update of their game, the dinosaur-themed MMO Path of Titans, was causing PlayStation 5 consoles to power off suddenly. Initially, the developer provided the usual basic troubleshooting advice, like clean the console, just do whatever, turn on, turn off again. But the issue persisted. After pinning the related discussion thread in the developer's Discord server, more people showed up reporting the problem. After Alderaan Games pinned a more general message asking players to report if their PS5 systems were suddenly shutting down while playing the game, a lot more users showed up with their reports. Some members of the team also experienced similar issues, like the actual developers themselves, like the devs. And they're also they brought up. And it's apparently a bigger issue than people are thinking. And this might just be a certain game and how it's run, but it is a valid thing. So everything seems to point that the liquid metal issue is more likely to manifest with the console placed vertically. So once again, this is a lot of the issues we had years ago. After talking with Sony about the issue, Alderaan Games discovered that the more intensive the game gets, which we've explained this years ago, and it just makes logical sense from someone who's built a PC, the higher and more, like, the more heat that's running, like your GPU and like these fans are running, it's going for a while, like it just utilizes more of it. So it's running at like 100% versus like a 70. That means that there's a higher chance the metal could start dripping. So it means that there's a higher chance of PlayStation 5 shutting down due to the liquid metal issues. With the latest update of Path of Titans, the percentage of players affected by the issue rose to 2 to 3%, which may not sound like a lot, but that's still millions of units at this point. 3% of, let's say, 75 million is a lot. Like that's a few million consoles, what, like 2 million or something, 2.5, 3 million consoles getting up, like rounding up. That's a lot. That's a lot. And we don't know how much this can just completely brick your console. And we don't know how, say, future games that might be coming out that are more intensive. Think like Death Stranding. That game's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I really want to stream it. But guess what? Because it is taxing, or even like Monster Hunter Wilds, poor performance means that your GPUs and CPUs and the internals are running hotter for longer, and it's not going to be good for your console. As well, if there's liquid metal dripping around, that's not good. So, however, better pinpointing which is causing affected systems to shut down is difficult. According to the Alderaan Games founder, as it seems to depend on a combination of where the dry spot is and what component of the APU is stressed the most. As there's no way to track CPU and GPU temperature via software, which I think that's a mistake, they should actually have that, troubleshooting is extremely difficult. And any fix on the developer's part, such as limiting frame rate to avoid putting any of the system's components under stress, could end up impacting those with fully working systems for no reason. So basically, I want to say this is seeming like a confirmed issue. Like millions of consoles are being affected by this. Granted, millions of a small subsample of Path of Titans users, which is understandable, but the fact that there's 3% is, yeah, it's small, but that's a lot of consoles. And that's more so confirming it's an issue because there probably is people who, number one, won't realize, number two, have a random shutdown they don't care, and number three, like, they just don't maybe play the game long enough for it to be affected by their console, or like a year, 2, 3 years from now, it'll rear its head up again. It happens all the time. So thankfully, not all these PlayStation systems are affected the same way by this design flaw, and Sony attempted to fix in the slim revision in the PS5 Pro by adding ridges to the APU. So like they've tried to fix this, but still it's an issue. And the heat seemed to basically prevent this liquid metal from dripping to the bottom of the console, but it's too early to say if that's actually fixed this issue on the PS5 Pro. I'm assuming so, but I think that's also a big line to note, is that they had to revise it. So Sony was aware of it, and they maybe try to ski it underneath the rug. Because why else would you go and even make that a priority on the PS5 Pro? It's intriguing. So no one really knows if that's a fix or not, but right now older models are more at risk. So like my consoles, or like the day oneers. And it's like not, like we shouldn't be freaking out about it. Like we could be logical about it. But it's something that this is an issue. Like this is seemingly still going to be a prevalent issue for the next few years. And that's not good. So basically a lot of these are also out of warranty too. So my console, if it breaks, it's been many years, I would want Sony to fix it for free. If this is a design flaw or even a developer flaw, that's on them for even allowing that for it to even happen on your console. And this would almost be like a Nintendo vibe, where I'd want them to have like a class action to just fix the consoles. If there's any issues, whip up a new APU and just throw it in there, you know? Like I don't want to have to send in my console, and ideally it doesn't break, but I don't want a maybe faulty design that we don't know about until a few years later. And they're making good money, and I think they should. And if they've also fixed in the PS5 Pro and changed it, they were aware of it. So I want to hear your thoughts on this all. So basically, talk with Sony about the issue. They suggested setting up a free repair program. I think that'd be great. I support this. For systems affected by the issue, but it might not be feasible considering how many systems are affected. The situation may not be as bad as many like the 360 Red Ring of Deaths, but it's bad enough that people are believing that a lot of consoles are going to die in the next couple of years, even as developers go and say. I want to hear your thoughts. Is this a big problem? Are we worried? Have you guys had this happen yourselves? Or do we just keep on going la 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 and hoping for the best? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll still have a few more days off on YouTube. I appreciate the patience. Make sure you guys are checking out the Twitter. Enjoy the giveaway. Subscribe if you guys are new. And I appreciate y'all for watching.